How's it going, guys? So, we're back with more coffee and cardboard. I'm here to talk about cardboard. I have the coffee. It is bog standard coffee because I am just plagued with technical issues today. Trying to get the top cam working so we can give you deck profiles again. And my god, OBS is being finicky. So if anyone has any advice for that, put them in the comments. It'd be appreciated. So we're going to get straight into this. I forgot this last week, so this is kind of old news. If you've seen it, whatever, like, skip ahead 10, 20 seconds or so. But these figures are absolutely fire. They're really nice. Most of the time, I am not too into kind of like character figures or anything, but absolutely all these three knock it out of the park. I'm assuming there'll be like imports or whatever on them, and they may not be that easy to attain, but they're real nice. I would happily own any of them. Like the Shockwave from Blue Eyes Ultimate Landing, the kind of swirl of wind from Paladin is a really nice touch, and like topping it off, Necrophage just looks badass. Also includes Sanctuary, so I'm assuming that's built into the back. Really nice, really like it. I'm into it. We have the new set announced. We have the name. It's Phantom Nightmare. It's the third core booster set for 2023. The release date is the 28th of October. The set will contain cards for old themes as well as new themes, and there'll be a bonus pack and a quarter century secret rare are included. That basically says it's a set that releases on this day, and we have the name. We're not at the point of getting poignant information about it, but we know what's coming out. So, PHNI? Fine. Cool. Speed Duel. We don't really cover much Speed Duel stuff. It's a bit of a blind spot, and we need to kind of like get on top of that. But this mat is pretty nice. That Paladin is rather cool. And the mat just looks pretty sick. So there we go. From Age of Overlord, we have got Gaia Prominence, the Kindling Serpent? Whatever he's called. He is a Pyro Fusion effect, fire level 11, attack 3500, defense 31, so an absolute house. One Gaia, the Force of Blazing Sun, and one face-up monster you control. So more Gaia support. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. When your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand or graveyard quick effect, you can discard one monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. Not a bad Omni. Be really good to cheat out with Cyber maybe not. Second effect. When this attacking card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can target one fire monster in your graveyard, special summon it. That's pretty cool, no restrictions. Not a huge fan of battle-based effects. It seems to be a theme with Gaia. All in all, I think it'll totally depend how hard it is to summon, like, what is Gaia? The Force of Blazing Sun, because if this is a fusion, forget about it. Let's have a quick check for my own knowledge. Real quick. Synchro. It's the Synchro 7. So, all in all, probably awkward. I mean, the other material's generic, so I suppose it is just a case of stick the Synchro and a body. But, yeah. Either way, that is a card that is going to exist. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is doing another collaboration with Adidas, Winged Dragon of Ra. It's very gold. 50% recycled materials, nice. and the art of the Winged Dragon of Fire is divided between them. They'll probably have mad resale value, probably not as much as like I think they did like Blue Eyes and Dark Magician, but you know, it's a collector's item, and I hear we're into that. More merchandise, more frames, pins. I think this is just carrying on the series of them. Stainless steel mug, that sounds awful. Like, if it's brushed steel and it touched my teeth, it would go through me. Also, like, that conducts heat. I don't feel well thought out. But, you know, maybe we're all not, like, British hot beverage addicts and we would use it for other reasons. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't conduct too bad. But either way, there's the new merch for that. For the Zexal stuff, if you're into it, go ahead and look into that. Be blessed by the Angel Ring. So, Angel Ring. That was just the title. Again from Age of Overlord. Angel Ring. Equip spell card. Equip only to a monster you control equipped with another equip card. I'm seeing Mekanko support or maybe Infernoble. You can only control one Angel Ring. Negate the effects of your opponent's first spell card or effect that resolves each turn. This reminds me of another card. Once per turn, you can gain 500 life points, then destroy this card, and if you do, your opponent cannot target that monster that was equipped with card effects. That's very mid. Like, the first spell is kind of good, but there's already a card that does that. I guess it being an equip makes it searchable, but you also have to be running it in an equip-based deck. I'm not a huge fan. And that's kind of it for the new releases. It's been a quiet week, but it's not been a quiet week for tournaments. So, Korea had their WCQ 2023. I'm not sure if we've already done this, and the OCG has quite a stable meta, so we're just going to blow through this. So, Ishizu Kashtira Elements, it's pretty much more of what we've been seeing from the OCG. The Hot Red is kind of an interesting addition, if it is Hot Red. The Archfiend of sorts. Pretty standard. Tour Guide Labyrinth. Yep, it's Labyrinth with 3 synergy. New Sky Striker card making an appearance in there, and they still have a pointer. Kashtira. It's Kashtira. They're still kind of leaning into the Pathfinders, so if we experience a race off it, I can see how everyone's immediately going to play around that. Tri-Brigade Scareclaw. I think we have definitely done this last week because this list rings a bell, but the Cerberel being a staple, obviously. It's quite light on the Tri-Brigade side. Not Tri-Brigade, Scareclaws. Pretty interesting, but 5 copies of Prisma for the reasons. Branded is branded. I'm so sick of seeing this deck. They seem to be splashing a bit of like Dogma stuff. Dear Servant. Yeah. Yeah, it's branded. They're flexing into the new synchro, which is a cool synchro, but otherwise the deck just rubs me the wrong way now. It seems to be a really cool core that only does degenerate things. Kashtira is once again Kashtira. And Grass Super Heavy, Samurai Ishizu, Veselinth, Adamantipator. At first, that was very new and novel. This is actually kind of like showing up in a lot of winning lists. It's what it says on the tin. It's a pile. And Grass Bestial Dragon Link. That's kind of cool. I quite like the look of this list. Yeah, the Dragoonity making an appearance there. That I believe that just tutors straight for Ravines. So they're playing about 5 Ravines there. And the new the Apple tuner, pretty cool. And that was it for Korea's WCQ. So now South America also had their WCQ, and we are looking at topping again, Cashtera. Yeah, if I've said it once, I've said it a fair few times. It's Cashtera. They're using set rotation with the other Primeval Planet. So they've got like 2 extra copies of Race Off and a Reborn, so they're kind of running 4 Birth, I guess. Running 3 Birth and a really bad Birth. Yeah, it's Cashtera. Still running the Big Bang. Draco Sack and the Future Dracos is pretty cool. Blue getting 2nd place. And this looks like it's very bog standard Flu, kind of just doing what the deck is good at. A few going 2nd tools in there as well. Yeah. A Rise Heart. Cherry's, it's not Cherry's target. I guess that is just for triple tack. But yeah, Flu doing what Flu does well. Also running the functional FTK in the side. Dark Smog is pretty based. Cashtera again. It's Cashtera. Yeah, and that was the WCQ. I did just see seen Econ come back in a little bit. So we're definitely seeing a little bit more like cash hate. Not as much as it used to be, but still plenty. Right, the North American Remote Duel YCS. This was pretty cool. Exosister with the Spirits took it. An absolute Cyburst Mesh took 2nd. Pirelli coming in at 3rd. And then we get to like 5th before we see Cashtera. The top 8, couple of Dragon Links, we pretty much know about them. Rika managed to top the top 16 for higher sprite. I'm kind of fatigued with the sprite stuff, but it was the least touched post list. And Vanquish Soul managed to scrape into top 16, as well as Sky Striker, which was pretty cool. I think that was kind of it for available lists and ones that were particularly interesting. So let's have a look. So yeah, the Spirit Exo Sisters, it's looking like a very controller game. It's looking very much like, as far as I'm aware, as soon as you start committing, they kind of thrive. Shifter at 2, the on a 41 card list as well, leaning into the traps pretty heavily. Yeah, and we're seeing Dark Holes getting favoured quite a bit, so there'll be reasons for that. So I've noticed the video. Go and check that out for the first place list, which is by Stephen Santoli. Santoli. I apologise if I've just butchered your name, Stephen, but yeah, good job, well played, and check his list out. Next, we've got the Firewall Math Mech Agnist, and this just, I have a working knowledge of all of these engines, and wow, that's a lot. Like, you're still arguably making it to circular as consistently as you probably want to anyway with the 3 mining, 3 small world. You're probably going through a fair, well, you're getting into some draws as well as deck thinning through the Agnista lines. I can see how it'd work. I personally don't understand it. But with a 60 card list as well, you're managing to run like 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 hand traps. Nope. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 hand traps. Plus the imperms. Wow. 18 hand traps. 3 thrusts to get into whatever you want, 2 talents as well, all in the main. And you've got the ritual and the rollback in there. Ritual for the sage. I haven't really tested with sage much. Also, I am pretty sure I'm not sure if they're playing they draw a lot of cards at Ignister card, but either way, clearly it did well. Again, there's a video on the list, so I'm sure you can find it there. Through this article, it's just on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck results, and it is Liam Mac. I can't speak. It's too late. Liam Mac Oscar. Oscar. Either way, Liam did a great job with this, bringing it home for Cyberse. Pirelli reached top 4, and this is Pirelli. They must have piloted it really well. I can imagine this deck is somewhat difficult now. So, like, really establishing that noir. I think you still get a lot of draws with this, which the OCG doesn't get, but you don't get your direct attaches or something like that. Oh, it's the attack boost. Either way, I know it was a significant hit, so well done to Christopher LeBlanc for getting that finish. There doesn't seem to be a video linked up, but there's the list at any rate. As far as I'm aware, it's Pirelli. I'm not seeing anything massively spicy here. Kashtira. It's Kashtira. Bill Way. Got some burn options there. And going for the Goliath. What are we sending this with? I'm not seeing it, but I'm probably missing something. The 3 Book of Moons. Book of Moon seems to be an absolute staple right now. Dark Hole seems to be the favoured board breaker as well. Yeah, I don't know if Ib is coming back into the format a little bit. I haven't seen any of it in the list that I've been looking at. But yeah, it's cash. Flu is a bit of an edge case. Offerings to the Doomed, I have heard that this has been like really solid for Flu. We're seeing the Smog engine here because you can do interesting chain blocking with it off the off and insulate from Ash. Yeah, it's fairly standard, I would say. You're kind of giving up a hand trap slot for offerings, but at the same time you get spot removal, so you can just take care of things there and then. Yeah, just favouring that singular removal again with Book of Moon as well. So you're getting a lot of options there. I imagine there's a world where this also acts like your 9th copies, well, 7th, 8th, and 9th copies of Adventure. If you're dealing with targeted disruption against your Rabina or something, you can pop it off. Yeah, face up monster on the field. So yeah, that synergizes really well. I like the Smog package. I tend to prefer Repulsion over Elbows, but both options are nice. Repulsion can always go on the side, and we have the functional FTK in there as well. Therion, Sun, Avalon, Rika. This is a deck that I am not massively familiar with, but yeah, that's kind of its strength. A lot of people aren't familiar with it. I believe you just hit the Jasmine, or so I've been told. Is it yeah, Jasmine. But yeah, it's doing well. It's been good for a while, and it's cool to see that it's got some representation now, hitting these top cuts. So check out the video once again, and this was by Sean McDonald. I don't know if I mentioned the other players' names, but you would have seen them on screen. And again, this is just very easily accessible information. Sky Striker hitting the top 16 again was interesting. It's blind second striker. Desires feels. Do you know, it's probably right, but when you get into a position where you've got the desires, if you haven't got your engages out of deck and you've like used one and it's not been optimal, we were seeing it on stream like tonight earlier. Tonight is not when this releases though. Where just the combination of a Rise Heart and Birth just functionally FTKs this deck at times. I mean, Afterburners immediately solves that problem if there's 3 in grave. But yeah, we are seeing the new Red Lotus, which is pretty much Spiritual Water, Aoi. Look at your opponent's hand and then rip one out, but you've got to tribute a water monster to do so. Really not difficult in a striker. You tend to end on one anyway, being Shizuku. So yeah, very heads up. We always find ways of being degenerate as a player base. Dylan Fricker doing well, and there is the video right there. Feel free to go and peruse. Adventure Plunder Patrol. This was kind of interesting on the surface. I was just like, it's just Adventure Plunder Patrol. They're leaning into the Bestials to go into Baron as their kind of route to getting Whitebeard into the graveyard. This is where I kind of used Fenrir's to go into Pep at the YCS. Realistically, the synchro is nice. Like Pep was particularly nice because people just got tunnel visioned on it. You couldn't really capitalize on it in the same way that like Punk or Gold Pride do. But it took the attention off the thing that you wanted to do, which was just rotating Blackbeard, getting loads of advantage, and you know, pumping all your ships up and whatnot. But yeah, so I think the Bestials are a better route, because Baron is a hell of a card. In the main deck, I am only seeing like Bestials themselves, so like having a Magnamort, or the Effect Veilers, I guess the Nibs as well. So depending on their relevancy, you can make it happen yourself. But it's a little scary for me to be main decking Bestials in when there's decks that are just not playing light or dark. Personally. That being said, no. Yeah, Liss is a light. We're playing the equip, so like you can. Yeah, you can kind of make it happen. It's cool either way, but the edition that I saw was the Iron Dragon, which I've not seen in a long time. Just gives an easy 4 if there's 3 or more cards in the same column, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only use that effect once per turn. If the card is special summoned, destroy all other cards in this card's column. It doesn't seem to say that you need to special summon it into the column that there are 3. So yeah, that's just a nice little bit of removal. This is an old card as well. I say old, like 2019, I want to say. Maybe it even got its reprint in 2019, so it might be older. I've seen the Illegal Knight in there as well. Yeah, cool list. Press the one button and open that. They also had the Adventure Field spell, which I personally didn't understand because I don't think they had any other targets for it. I am assuming it was just for attacking with the Adventure token and drawing off that. Either way, it clearly worked. So, South America had their WCQ as well, and have we just been through this? I want to say we have. The winners was Kashtira, Kashtira using set rotation and monster reborn. Tenyi Sword Soul, I don't think I picked up on this earlier, or it wasn't featured. This is very much just, it's Tenyi Sword Soul. No, it's not actually. They have got a little bit of spice with Denlong searching the 9 pillars, and it just seems to be Denlong to get the probably the level modulation on the go, Foolish in from deck, and getting the negate. They're not going into kind of like the Herald plays or anything, from what I'm seeing. Yeah, nah. Omnis are good. Counter traps are fantastic. No need to overcomplicate it sometimes. Other than that, it's pretty much just Sword Soul. The Vessel's nice, and we dodge Imperm with the Heavenly Dragon cycle. Yeah. Labyrinth Vanquish Soul. Now this was something that caught my eye. This is a bit of an abomination, but it's super cool. It must work, but it's a little confusing. I'm guessing you will just be using like the Vanquish Soul as draw engine, to supplement your Labyrinth plays while you're already controlling the board. You may as well draw a card, an additional card every turn with Heavy Borger. You can dodge a lot of stuff with the Vanquish Soul, so like targeted negation kind of doesn't do a whole lot. And if you're going into your Vanquisher or anything like that, or doing anything that could be particularly ash baity with Vanquish Soul, I guess it puts you through on the Labyrinth side. Yeah, really interesting. Pretty sure all the fusions are just super poly targets plus Garura and Mud Dragon. Yeah, super poly targets anyway. Chaos Angel making an appearance because it's strong. It's very strong. But yeah, heads up list. Spirit Math Mech. This is kind of like the first instance that I've like looked at the Spirit side. Like Dotscaper, I'm not personally a huge fan of, but clearly it worked. I would probably go for like the Fire Kaiju over the Light Kaiju, but again, like depends on ratios here. Yeah, it's definitely cool. I love to see MathMech getting represented. We've seen the new Link Decoder being used, and from testing that goes a mile. The G Golem's pretty great. I'm very much thinking of including that myself. Yeah, it's MathMech and it's doing well. And that takes us back to the beginning. So that has been the news. That's been Coffee and Cardboard. I need to work out what we're doing for a Tuesday video. But do you know what? Before that, I should probably sleep. So, namaste, fuckers. We'll see you next time. Watch all the things. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, hit the bell icon, do everything. Just do it. Trust me. Please. Yeah. Catch you later.